let's define philanthropy. And I do think that as a word, it's a bit of a barrier. But actually, what it is not a barrier. So philanthropy is about giving with intent. So it's the combination of the giving, but it's equally important is the thinking about what you want to create because of that. It's not about money. It can be a little bit, it can be a lot, it can be everything in the middle. That is not what makes good philanthropy. What makes good philanthropy is the bringing together of the vision and the intent and the deliberate for purpose behaviour and lining up all the soldiers in the army towards getting that outcome. Look, I've got to be honest, for me, there is a really strong blend of what I've chosen to do professionally and how I want to live my life and how I want to exist in my family and my community. So I have always participated in active community building. It was there are a set of values that my parents passed down to me and that I saw lived out every day, and that's who I also want to be. So from a philanthropic perspective, I give away 5% of my income every year. I have particular causes and passions that I actually care very deeply about, and I am involved not just in a financial perspective but also in terms of my time and what I choose to fight for and what I choose to do. We have a family sub-fund account, so it's a gumnut, it's like a philanthropic savings account, and we had a discussion a number of years ago as a family around, how are we actually going to fuel our passions in terms of, building that equality of opportunity. And we agreed as a family, the 5 of us, that every Christmas we would decide what everybody was going to have for Christmas and what Father Christmas was going to bring, and then we'd cut it in half. And half of it would go into our family sub-fund account in order to build enough of a nest egg to then create annual income distribution that the kids will then decide where they want it to go. And my husband and I have left a bequest to that to get it to a point then when it can be self-sustaining. We hope that the kids as adults will continue to contribute to it. And we're very close to being able to make our first grant, and really what we want to say to our kids is, this is your engine and your responsibility to use it wisely and to use it to build equality of opportunity. This is going to sound really wanky, but it just gives me oxygen. Like it's who I want to be, it's who I am, and without it I think I would be a shell. I know that sounds really dramatic, but it actually gives me purpose, it gives me meaning, it gives me inspiration, it gives me fire. And I suppose I have just been, from a really early age, I have just seen the direct result of living like that. From really simple things as a toddler painting goalposts to create a community rugby club with my dad, to at the age of 14 being a bit bolshy and going on a kind of a political advocacy group to give young people the right in our local community to have a say about where funds were spent, through to now being on the boards of organisations that I care deeply around ending youth homelessness, because I've actually seen that it changes things. So that's the greatest gift is, you do something and guess what? It actually makes a difference. And if we all kind of could align our energy and our resources, and it's not just about money, if we could all align them to the things that we care about, I have no doubt that we create a tomorrow that will be better than today. I just think it's that simple. I think there is a really beautiful characteristic to being an Australian, and I say that as someone who's an immigrant and who made a very deliberate, conscious decision that this was the culture and the place I wanted to be part of because I felt it fitted my psyche and who I am. And I absolutely acknowledge my incredible privilege about being able to make that as a rational judgment with multiple options. So many people don't have that, and that's part of what we have to try and change. But Australians, I think by their nature, they are community builders. They are opportunistic entrepreneurs. They are incredibly generous. Like the Australian giving report that was published this year shows that, you know, nearly 90% of us give in one way or another, to the local footy club, to the local netball club, to the local church, to non-profits, to causes we care about. We are nation builders, and I think when you look at our kind of national discourse and our national conversation, it's happening at such a level that is so disconnected from where we live. And if we look at where and how we live, that's the Australia that actually we need to celebrate and shout about and show people, because that's awesome. I feel totally uplifted when I'm lucky enough, and this is why I'm so lucky, because I get to see what really happens. Like, I get to see what people are actually doing, not the words, not the hyperbole, not the aspiration, not the talking stuff, but I get to see across the board what's actually happening in the community, on the ground, right here, right now. One of the things that, you know, the shadow side of that, though, that really frustrates me is why is it so hard to show everybody that? You know, and this, I think, you know, is a question of our current state of citizenship, democracy, whatever. This stuff is out there in spades. Like last night we celebrated the 2017 Australian Philanthropy Awards. We had 6 stunning, real, live change makers there, not just doing it now, but having been doing it for years. And so, yes, of course, that's uplifting and energising. But how come it's only the people in the tent that get to see that? Why don't we value it enough or recognise it enough that actually everybody can get to see that? Because there is a contagion effect. This is addictive. You know, when you get into this space and you do this, you just need more and more of it. So, yes, of course, it's uplifting, but then I go, oh, for crying out loud, why can't everybody see this? Why can't our media talk about it? Why can't our community leaders and our business leaders and our political leaders talk about it? Because it's real and it's there, and it's incredibly significant.